The difference between scoring over 700 on the June SAT and below 700 is these questions. This is my prediction. You need to know them because they will show up. This is what I think the SAT is trying to do to people. This particular question, very, very interesting. You may see it because it's very confusing. But in actual fact, very simple. You'll be surprised what I'm going to tell you, how this complicated question is just an easy solution. Function f and g are defined by the given equations, where x is greater than or equal to 0. Why? I will show you. Which of the following equations display as a constant? That's what confusing students. Write it down, circle that portion, or coefficient. The minimum value of the function, it defines by what? F of s is this, and g of x is that. What does the SAT means by that? Why they keep on asking this kind of question? Because they know they can trip you, they prevent you from getting perfect score. This is what to drop you down below 700. This is the key. You don't need decimals for this. It's straightforward. The key is to understand what they're asking you. In exponential equation f of x, you have a, b, and a power to the x. What is the problem? This is the exponent. This is the base, which is the constant. And the a is the coefficient. So they're asking you, which one? When they say equation display a constant and the coefficient, what they mean by, if you look at the equation, can you find the minimum value without not doing any calculation? They ask you, why did they want you to calculate a minimum value? You can tell from the base is greater than what? 1. That means this is an increasing exponential system, and therefore you have minimum value. You don't have maximum. Maximum continue to grow. If this is less than 1, you're going to have a maximum value. All of them occur at x equal to 0. Now, if I put x equal to 0, can I see the minimum value? Look at it. X is equal to 0. This will be left with what? 1.4 to the power 2. 1 times 1.16 times 18. The minimum value require you multiply this by that, then multiply this by square to the power 2. There is no minimum value here. That is represented by what? A constant or a coefficient. So this is wrong. Same thing. Let me give you an example. If this is f of x and you have 18, you have 1.4, and you have x. If I put x is equal to 0, the whole equation become what? 18. 18 is the minimum value. Do we see the 18 in the minimum value in the equation initially? Yeah, 18 was here. Now 18 is still there. I do not have to do any multiplication, no calculation. And 18 was the minimum value. So this is represented. But here we got to multiply by 1.6, 1.4. You think you don't need decimals. Same thing apply. X is equal to 0. You'll be left with what? 18, 1.4 raised to the power 4. You have to multiply this to that to get a minimum value. Even though 18 is there, 18 was not the minimum value. We have to multiply this by this to get a final minimum value. Therefore, this is also not true. Your answer choice, neither of them. You don't need decimals. You need algebra to be able to look at it. But if you want to plot it, you can plot it in decimal. The most important thing about this video is watch out for this question. They are freebie. That's what is going to make the difference between 600, 700, and a perfect score. People will run away from it, but if you understand what it means, this is an easy question. Follow the way I did it, and you'll be able to get your score. This is another big one regarding integers. It's also straightforward, right? They give you a quadratic equation, and they give you another factored form. They give you a bunch of words. M, N, M, P are integers. Which of the following are true? I don't even worry about them. Write this down, concept. Write it down again. You're going to have A, I put A here. Then I put B, C, and D, right? This is your normal quadratic equation. And you know the large function, the 45 comes from what? B and D. That means whatever function B multiplied by D will give you the 45. That's what is responsible for that function. Therefore, I look at the integers they've given me. The only thing that is going to give me the 45 is N and P. If there's any relationship between the two and the 45, I'm picking it as a true statement. I see B never contributed to the 45. Ignore it. N contributed to the 45, but B is not part of it. Ignore it. M did not contribute at all, but 45 is the 45. And therefore, this is your right answer. You don't need any mathematics, just looking at it. This is what the SAT is testing. Pattern recognition. They don't want you to memorize. The old SAT is doing a lot of arithmetic. Now they want you to see the question and then boom, you figure it out. That's why they're giving you keys to be able to recognize it. You don't need to do any hard calculation. Therefore, master that. Solution of equation. They love solutions of equation. Which one they will trap you with? A quadratic equation and parabola. So watch for this. In the system below, if they have exactly one solution, so you have quadratic equation, and then you have a line, y is equal to k. What is the value of k? This is actually straightforward 10 seconds work. If you overdo it, it becomes complicated and you waste too much time. You need time to do what? Decimal proof questions. And therefore, this is one of them. Spend the time to analyze this question quickly. 10 seconds, you're done. You can plot it, but even plotting will take you a long time. All you need to do, if this function is equal to this, that means just if exactly one solution, the only place it's going to happen is at the vectors, or is a tangent. If it's so, I'm going to complete the square in the easiest way. I'm going to change this in the vectors form. Therefore, this is the same thing as what? X, half of this is 5. Then 5 squared, right? Right here. Therefore, I have minus 4, x minus 5 square. What is your k? Minus 4. You don't have to do any big arithmetic. The only way y and k is going to attach to the quadratic equation is at the vectors if it exactly has one solution. Therefore, minus 4 is your right answer. This is the way I want to approach them. And you can see sometimes these questions are straightforward. You just have to know how to think about them and approach them. And that's algebra. And I've linked some videos that you can teach you how to apply algebra calculation, and you can master them. You'll be able to look at the question and figure it out. Now, so I say SAT, they love vectors. That's what this question is asking for. It logs minimum and maximum values. That's what it's asking. And it loves a tangent. That's why it said one solution. They can ask you tangent questions in different form. It's the same thing as what? One solution, vectors form, and minimum. So you have to draw a vertex line. You can plot it in decimals and then give yourself a slider if you know how to do that. But if you don't, the simplest way is I'll look at this question and know the vertex form and k just pop out like a candy. Polynomial. They will give you a weird equation. It is quadratic. Polynomial is basically quadratic equation more than x is raised to 2, right? x3, x4, 5, 7, 8. So when they give you a question, your best bet, like this, break it down into quadratic equation. But I'll show you this kind of question is straightforward. They're giving you this. Can be written in this form. This is the one I want you to pay attention. This is the kind of question they will say. They'll ask you, is factorized. They will factorize it for you, and they will give you that. I already talked about the B and the C and the D, how they contribute to the quadratic equation. And now you multiply them by using your FOIL. And they give you A, B, C, D are positive. You say, oh, I have so many integers. Then you worry, I can't use decimals. And then you confuse. You have algebra as your weapon. Look at the question they're asking you. What is the greatest value of AD and BC? Oh, actually, this is a 5 seconds work. If you know what you're doing, like I said, 5 seconds. If you know exactly what they're asking you for what? AD and BC. And I show you that AD and BC is the middle function. Remember, A and C is the first function. The second function is AD plus what? BC. And this is the same thing. And the third is BD. Guess what? AD plus BC is responsible for the middle function of the quadratic equation. There's two ways they ask for this. They'll ask you for the greatest value of B, and they'll put B here. And they'll ask you to do that. If they say that is A times C plus 1, that means 8 times 15 plus 1. But guess what? This is when they tell you B, what is the greatest value of B? But what have they done? They've given you B. They've restricted your movement. They say your B is 22. Well, guess what? You cannot move. You cannot get anything more than 22. Therefore, A times D plus B, C is what? The greatest value of that middle function cannot be more than 22. 5 seconds. You don't need to calculate. If you expand, if you do anything, the SAT has caught you. It said, oh, I got you. This is where they waste your time. This function may wet golden, but they trap you and they make you calculate so many things. You don't even have to open. All you need to do is click the answer choice is 22 and move on. There should be no number greater than 22. And this is why I want you to watch for that. They want to take your point away. They will do whatever they can to take points away from you by giving you sneaky variables and other things. This is it. A bunch of statements, but actual fact, 22 is looking at you, say, pick me. And then I know you will pick it. So that's my prediction. This is what they will do to you. Therefore, what does the SAT loves? It's a pattern recognition that you know AD plus BC is actually 22. And you cannot have anything more than that. Don't factor if you don't have to. In circles, I love circles because it's a tricky algebra that can destroy you completely. It can take you to what? Geometry and others. This is the circle equation, right? And they said P lies on the circle and has coordinate of that. If they lie on the circle, what is the value of what? X. And then you see a lot of people will be doing a bunch of calculation. If this is the circle, okay, let me give you a coordinate, X, Y coordinate. And I lay on here. Well, this is what? X and 7. What is X? You know the answer. This function is true for any point that lay on the what? The circle. Wherever you are. So far as you are in the circle is true. And I've given you a coordinate, X, Y. All you need to do is substitute in it. You don't have to do any fancy calculation. X, we don't know. 4, we know is the part of the center of the circle. Y, they said Y is 7. That's what they give us here. Just put in the numbers. Don't do any fancy calculation. You already done. Leave it. Don't open it. Leave it alone. And this will be 64. And this will be 65. Therefore, X minus 4 squared is equal to 1. Therefore, X minus 4, this will be what? Plus or minus 1. X is equal to what? 4 plus or minus 1. Your answer is 3 and 5. X can be any of them. And this is the way you do this without any fancy calculation. Watch for this. This is what I predict the SAT is going to bring it up just to confuse you, waste your time. But don't worry, I got you. You watch this video. I want you to watch it and look at it. Key fact, strategy to answer them. If you need more, I've linked a bunch of videos and there's most tricks that will help you pass your SAT and score over 700. Take care of yourself and good luck.